Hi, welcome to the video blog for Pencil and Spoon. Today's hopefully going to be the first in an ongoing series of video blogs about beer and cheese. And beer and cheese are probably my favourite combinations at the moment. I'm trying all sorts of different things to try and see, which cheeses work with which beers. And I mean, some of the combinations you get are just incredible. They're fantastic. The reason that cheese works so well is that its creamy thickness it coats your palate, and then when the beer comes in, whether it's an IPA and kind of a carbonated light beer, or whether it's a strong, heavy stout or barley wine, something like that, it just cleanses your palate. It lifts up all the cheese flavours off of your taste buds, mixes around with them, and kind of takes them off in this fantastic new direction. Especially with the lengthy finishes that you get on both beers and cheeses, they kind of dance away together in their own direction, and you get some really fantastic matches. So, right, today we're going to do a bottle of stout which I had knocking around, which is Dorothy Goodbody's Wholesome Stout. This is the 2008 champion bottled beer of Britain, voted for by Camera, and on the back it says it's good with cheeses. So we're gonna give it a go. Now I've just poured it out. Fantastic, kind of opaque black with a nice thick head. There's some dark chocolate in there. You've got a bit light coffee, loads of roasted grain aromas. And then again, there's coffee, there's chocolate in there, more roast grain, and then at the end it kind of finishes quite dry and quite nice hops come through. So that's good. So let's try it with a range of cheeses that we've got here. I'm going to start off with a creamy English brie. It's mild, there's not much to it. And then the beer. And now see, the combination we get there doesn't really do anything for either the cheese or the beer. You get a bit of the bitterness come through, and kind of some of the creaminess comes out of the cheese, but nothing special. Now, we've got a goat's cheese here now. It's got that fantastic earthy, farmy taste to it. It's a slight bit of sourness, but it's also quite creamy. Now that's a nice match. The sweetness in the beer actually is enhanced by the cheese, and then the finish, the cheese kind of stays in your mouth throughout. And the beer doesn't interfere too much with that, but kind of adds its own nice flavours to it. So yeah, that's a good one, goat's cheese. Now we've got a nice mature cheddar, really strong mature cheddar. It's rich and it's tangy. Not so good actually. I expected it to work well with a nice strong mature cheddar, but it's not quite so good. The cheese is almost overpowering in a way. The beer just doesn't have a chance to come through on its own. You get a lot more of the roasted bitterness with that. And now we've got a great Colston Bassett Stilton. It's just rich and strong, absolutely gorgeous, really creamy. Now that's a nice mix. The roast bitterness is not quite so strong, so you get more of the grain coming through, a bit more chocolate. It's a bit softer. The creaminess works in both of them, and the mouthfeel. And yeah, that's a really nice finish. So out of those four, I think I'm surprised actually. I expected the Stilton to be the best, but it actually seems like the goat's cheese out of that little experiment is the best. Now I've got one more to try. As it's Valentine's Day, a bit of a romantic. I found this one at the shop. It's a white Stilton with strawberries and white chocolate. Now, a bit dubious, but hey. That's nuts. It's like eating dessert. All you can taste is strawberries, a crunch of white chocolate. That's a bit odd. And with the beer, that's quite interesting with the beer actually. The creaminess and the sweetness in the dessert, kind of the slight nuttiness, actually blends quite well. The strawberries and the chocolate kind of come together quite well, and the bitterness is slightly dulled. So that's fairly interesting match, one I would just throw in there as a bit of a red herring. So yeah, the first cheese and beer experiment. Hopefully there'll be quite a few more of these. I'm now going to go and finish off these. Got loads more cheeses downstairs. Open some crackers. It's lovely. So yeah, Dorothy Goodbody Stout. And my little experiment worked well with Stilton and goat's cheese. Cheers.